Hi, I'm Vincent Viviana, and this is my video journal for the OS security module and the SMT program. In this lecture, I learned about Linux and Windows security concepts, but the part that really stuck with me was the Linux file permission, so that's what I want to walk you through today. So from the lecture, I'll cover the basics of both operating system on the Linux side, the OS itself, the kernel, the shell, the file system, etc. And on the Windows side, the command prompt, PowerShell, the registry, etc. It's a lot of ground, but permissions were the part I wanted to dig deeper into. So the Linux permission came down to three actors, which is owner, groups, and the others, and the three abilities, which is read, write, and execute. Numbers like 750, 755, or 777 are just random numbers, and they are a shorthand for who gets to touch a file and how. Something like 750 means only the owner has full control and the group can read and execute, and everyone else is locked out. So this is where it clicked for me. The permissions aren't just configuration detail, there are security boundary. If you go from Linux permission to incorrect permissions, you end up with a real security risk. So the looser the permission, the bigger the attack surface. So a setting like 777 isn't convenient, but it's an open door. So to take this further from what I was covered in the lecture, I looked into my trust CWE database and found that CWE 732 incorrect permission assignment for critical resource. It describes exactly this problem when a resource is given permission that are too broad. It can be read or modified by people who shouldn't have access. The pattern lays out it's simple that too much permission leads out to unauthorized access and which leads to privilege escalation. So that framework isn't just theoretical, but is also shown up in real vulnerabilities. One example is CVE on 2022, found in Amazon SSM agent. The root cause was that the sudoers file, the file that controls who can run sudo, was made world writable. That let a local attacker inject their own sudo rules, escalate privilege, and get root access, all from a permission that should have been locked down. And the second one is also look on the CVE 2022 found in Palo Alto Cortex XOR engine on Linux. It's a classified number under the same weakness, CWE732. And if an attacker already had shell access, the incorrect permission let them run programs with higher privilege, a local privilege escalation. What stood out to me is that this is a modern enterprise-grade security product and it still ran into the same fundamental issue. So the biggest takeaway for me is that Linux permission aren't just number like 750 or 777. They're a real access control mechanism, and when they are misconfigured, that's categorized as CW732. We've seen it play out in actual ZVEs on Amazon SSM agent to Palo Alto Cortex XR. It's a good reminder that a lot of security incidents can come from complex exploits that come from basic misconfiguration. And that's it for the video journal. Thank you for watching.